Today we'll be continuing with the topic management of discolored teeth. Bleaching. It is a procedure which involves the lightening of the color of the tooth through application of a chemical agent that oxidizes the organic pigmentation in the tooth. Bleaching is the most common and one of the most efficient techniques that is applied for treatment of discoloration. The goal is to restore normal color of the tooth by decolorizing the stain with the help of a powerful oxidizing agent that is also known as a bleaching agent. Mechanism is linked to degradation of high molecular weight complex organic molecules that reflect a specific wavelength of light which is responsible for the color of stain. The resulting degradation products are of lower molecular weight and they are composed of less complex molecules reflecting less light that results in a reduction or the elimination of discoloration. This is a schematic representation of the mechanism of bleaching where you can see how the process of oxidation occurs upon application of a bleaching agent. Contraindications of bleaching. Number 1, poor case selection. Patients who have emotional or psychological problem are not the right candidate for bleaching. Number 2, dentine hypersensitivity. Hypersensitive teeth need to provide extra protection before going for bleaching. Number 3, extensively restored teeth. They are also not good choice for bleaching because they don't have enough enamel to respond to the bleaching process, and teeth that are heavily restored with tooth colored restorations like composite are also poor candidates because composite restorations do not lighten. In fact, they become more evident after bleaching. Then, teeth with hypoplastic marks and cracks. Application of the bleaching agent increases the contrast between white opaque spots and normal tooth structure. So, in these cases, bleaching can be done in conjunction with microabrasion and composite resin bonding. Then defective and leaky restorations are also not good candidates for bleaching. For example, discoloration from metallic salts, particularly silver amalgam, or defective obturation. If dentinal tubules of the tooth become saturated with alloys, then no amount of bleaching with available products will significantly improve the shade. Therefore, in case of leakage with silver amalgam, bleaching is not a good process that can be applied. And also in case of defective obturation, like if the root canal is not well obturated, then the refilling must be done before attempting for bleaching. Now coming to the bleaching agents, most important is hydrogen peroxide. This is used in concentration between 5 and 35%. It has low molecular weight, so it can penetrate dentine and release oxygen. It is a clear, colorless, odorless liquid that is stored in light-proof bottles, and it must be stored in dark and cool place like refrigerator. It should be handled carefully to prevent direct contact with mucous membrane, as it can irritate the mucosa. It can be used alone or in combination with sodium perborate. Now the second most important bleaching agent is sodium perborate. This is available as a white powder in granular form. Mainly 3 types are available: sodium perborate, monohydrate, trihydrate and tetrahydrate. These 3 types vary in the oxygen content. When mixed with superoxole, now what is superoxole? It is 5 parts hydrogen peroxide with 1 part ether. So when mixed with superoxole, it decomposes into sodium metaborate, water and oxygen. Then comes carbamide peroxide. This is also known as urea hydrogen peroxide. It is used in concentrations ranging from 3 to 45%. It decomposes into urea, ammonia, carbon dioxide and hydrogen peroxide. Now we'll talk about bleaching techniques. For vital teeth, bleaching techniques are basically divided into two parts. One is the home bleaching technique and the second is the in-office bleaching technique. Home bleaching technique is also known as night guard vital bleaching, and in-office bleaching technique is of three types. Number 1, thermocatalytic, number 2, non-thermocatalytic, and number 3, microabrasion. Now bleaching technique for non-vital teeth is divided into four types. Number 1, thermocatalytic in-office bleaching. Number 2, walking bleach, which is also known as intracoronal bleaching. Number 3, inside-outside bleaching. And number 4, closed chamber bleaching or extracoronal bleaching. And lastly comes laser assisted bleaching, where lasers are used. Now coming to the bleaching of vital teeth. Home bleaching technique is also called as night guard bleaching. Indications are mild generalized staining, age-related discoloration, mild tetracycline staining, mild fluorosis, acquired superficial staining, stains from smoking tobacco, color changes that are related to pulpal trauma or necrosis. Contraindications are teeth with insufficient enamel for bleaching, teeth with deep and surface cracks and fracture lines, teeth with inadequate or defective restoration, discoloration in the adolescent patient with large pulp chamber, severe fluorosis and pitting hyperplasia, non-compliant patients, pregnant or lactating patients, teeth with large anterior restorations, severe tetracycline staining, fractured or malaligned teeth, teeth exhibiting extreme sensitivity to heat, cold or sweets, and teeth with opaque white spots. Here a 10 to 15% carbamide peroxide bleaching material is recommended. The commercial bleaching product is available either as a clear gel or as a white paste. This carbamide peroxide degrades into 3% hydrogen peroxide, which is active ingredient, and 7% urea. Bleaching materials that contain carbopol, which is a polyacrylic acid polymer, are recommended because carbopol thickens the bleaching agent or the bleaching solution and extends the oxidation process. Now coming to the steps of tray fabrication. Firstly, take the impression and make a stone model. Choose the tray sheet material. Nature of the material used for fabrication of the bleaching tray is a flexible plastic. Most common tray material used is ethyl vinyl acetate. Standard thickness of the tray is 0.035 inches. Cast the plastic in vacuum tray forming machines. Trim and polish the tray. Check the tray for correct fit, retention and overextension, and then demonstrate the amount of bleaching material that has to be placed. This photograph shows a bleaching tray. Treatment regimen is: patient is instructed to brush the teeth before tray application, and no excess material must be allowed to remain on soft tissues because of the potential for gingival irritation. Patient must be informed not to drink liquids or rinse during treatment and to remove the night guard for meals and oral hygiene. Total treatment time using overnight approach is usually 1 to 2 weeks. Duration of the treatment depends upon original discoloration, duration of bleaching, patient compliance and the time of bleaching. If the patient cannot tolerate overnight bleaching, then the bleaching time and frequency can be adjusted to accommodate the patient's comfort level. It is recommended that only one arch should be bleached at a time, beginning with the maxillary arch. The side effects are gingival irritation, soft tissue irritation, altered taste sensation, and tooth sensitivity, which is the most common side effect. This photograph shows in-office bleaching, the thermocatalytic technique of in-office bleaching for vital teeth. Here you can see a light source is applied through a light curing unit and the bleaching is done. Now, indications for thermocatalytic vital tooth bleaching are: number 1, superficial stains, and number 2, moderate to mild stains. Contraindications are tetracycline stains, extensive restorations, severe discolorations, extensive caries, patient sensitive to bleaching agents. The light sources applied are conventional bleaching light, tungsten halogen curing light, xenon plasma arc light, argon and carbon dioxide laser, diode laser light. Procedure is: pumice the teeth to clean off any debris present on the tooth surface, isolate the tooth with rubber dam and protect the lips and gingival tissue with Vaseline or cocoa butter, protect patient's eyes with sunglasses, saturate the cotton or gauze piece with bleaching solution, that is 30 to 35% hydrogen peroxide, and place it on the teeth. Depending upon light, expose the teeth. The temperature of the device should be maintained between 52 and 60 degrees Celsius. Change the solution in between after every 4 and 5 minutes. Treatment time should not exceed 30 minutes. Remove the solution with the help of a wet gauze. Irrigate the teeth thoroughly with warm water. Polish the teeth and apply neutral sodium fluoride gel. Instruct the patient to use fluoride rinse on a daily basis. Second and third appointment is given after 3 to 6 weeks. Coming to the second technique, which is non-thermocatalytic bleaching. In this technique, heat source is not used. Here, the tooth is isolated using rubber dam. Then, a bleaching agent is applied on the tooth for 5 minutes. The teeth are washed with warm water and bleaching agent is reapplied until the desired color is achieved, and then the teeth are washed and polished. Microabrasion, we have already discussed. It is a procedure in which a microscopic layer of enamel is simultaneously eroded and abraded with a special kind of compound which contains 18% of hydrochloric acid, leaving a perfectly intact enamel surface behind. Indications are developmental intrinsic stains and discoloration, which is limited to superficial enamel only, enamel discoloration as a result of hypomineralization or hypermineralization, decalcification lesions from stasis of plaque and from orthodontic bands, areas of enamel fluorosis, multicolored superficial stains, and some irregular surface texture. Contraindications are age-related staining, deep enamel hypoplastic lesions, areas of deep enamel and dentine stains, amelogenesis imperfecta and dentinogenesis imperfecta cases, tetracycline staining, carious lesions underlying regions of calcification. Coming to the technique, clinically evaluate the tooth, clean the tooth with rubber cup and prophylaxis paste, apply petroleum jelly to the tissues and isolate the area with a rubber dam. Apply microabrasion compound to areas in 60 seconds intervals with appropriate rinsing. Repeat this procedure if necessary and then check the teeth when wet. Rinse the teeth for 30 seconds and then dry. Apply topical fluoride to the tooth for 5 minutes and re-evaluate the color of the tooth. Now, bleaching of non-vital teeth. Thermocatalytic in-office bleaching for non-vital teeth. The technique: isolate the tooth to be bleached using rubber dam. Place a bleaching agent, for example superoxole and sodium perborate, separately or in combination inside the tooth chamber. Heat the bleaching solution using a light curing unit. Repeat this procedure till the desired tooth color is achieved. Then wash the tooth with water. and seal the chamber using dry cotton and temporary restorations. Recall the patient after 1 to 3 weeks. Do the permanent restoration of the tooth using composite resin afterwards. Now, walking bleach or intracoronal bleaching. It involves the use of chemical agents within the coronal portion of an endodontically treated tooth to remove tooth discoloration. Indications are discolorations of pulp chamber origin, moderate to severe tetracycline staining, dentine discoloration. Contraindications are superficial enamel discoloration, defective enamel formation, and presence of caries. Now the steps are: take the radiograph to assess the quality of obturation. If found unsatisfactory, retreatment should be done. Evaluate tooth color with a shade guide. Isolate the tooth with the help of a rubber dam. Prepare the access cavity, remove coronal gattaparcha. Expose dentine and refine the cavity. Place mechanical barriers 2 mm thick, preferably of JIC, zinc phosphate, IRM, polycarboxylate or MTA on the root canal filling material. Now mix sodium perborate with an inert liquid like local anesthetic, saline or water, and place this paste into the pulp chamber. In case of severe stains, add 3% hydrogen peroxide to make a paste. After removing excess bleaching paste, place a temporary restoration over it. Apply pressure with a gloved finger against the tooth until the filling has set, because filling may get displaced due to the release of oxygen. Recall the patient after 1 to 2 weeks. Repeat the treatment until desired shade is achieved. Restore access cavity with the help of composite after 2 weeks. This diagram shows the removal of the coronal gattaparcha using a rotary instrument and then placement of protective barrier over gattaparcha. After this, the placement of the bleaching mixture into the pulp chamber and sealing of the cavity using temporary restoration is done. Now coming to the next technique, which is inside/outside bleaching technique. This is also known as internal or external bleaching or modified walking bleach technique. This technique involves intracoronal bleaching technique along with home bleaching technique. This is done to make the bleaching program more effective. So it is a combination of the in-office and the home bleaching technique. Here you can see the intracoronal, the internal external bleaching technique or inside outside bleaching technique. In this, the tray is sealed over an open internal access opening with a cotton pellet placed in open access cavity. The procedure is: number 1, access the obturation by taking radiograph, isolate the tooth and prepare the access cavity by removing GP 2 to 3 mm below the cemento-enamel junction. Then place the mechanical barrier, clean the access cavity and place a cotton pellet inside the chamber to avoid food packing into it. Evaluate the shade of the tooth. Check the fitting of the bleaching tray and advise the patient to remove the cotton pellet before bleaching. The patient is instructed that either a bleaching syringe can be directly placed into the chamber before seating the tray, or extra bleaching material can be placed into the tray space corresponding to the tooth with open chamber. After bleaching, the tooth is irrigated with water, cleaned, and again a cotton pellet is placed in the empty space. Reassessment of the shade is done after 4 to 7 days, and when the desired shade is achieved, the access cavity is sealed initially with temporary restoration and finally with a composite restoration after at least 2 weeks. Now coming to closed chamber bleaching or extracoronal bleaching technique for non-vital teeth. In this, instead of removing the existing restoration, the bleaching paste is applied to the tooth via a bleaching tray. Indications are in case of totally calcified canals in a traumatized tooth, as a maintenance bleaching treatment several years after initial intracoronal bleaching, a single dark non-vital tooth where the surrounding teeth are sufficiently light or where other vital teeth are also to be bleached. And then comes lastly laser assisted bleaching, where lasers are used for bleaching. This technique achieves power bleaching process with the help of efficient energy source with minimum side effects. Laser whitening gel contains thermally absorbed crystals, fumed silica and 35% hydrogen peroxide. In this, the gel is applied and is activated by a light source which in further activates the crystals present in the gel, allowing dissociation of oxygen and therefore better penetration into the enamel matrix. Following lasers have been approved for tooth bleaching. Number 1, argon laser. Number 2, CO2 laser. And number 3, gallium aluminium arsenic diode laser. Argon laser emits wavelength of 480 nanometer in visible part of the spectrum. It activates the bleaching gel and makes the darker tooth surface lighter and less thermal effects on the pulp as compared to other heat lamps is seen. The carbon dioxide laser emits a wavelength of 10,600 nanometer. It is used to enhance the effect of the whitening produced by argon laser, and deeper penetration than argon laser is seen and therefore more efficient tooth whitening is done. But more deleterious effects on the pulp are also seen than argon laser. And lastly comes gallium aluminium arsenic laser, which emits a wavelength of 980 nanometer. So here ends the topic management of discolored teeth. Thank you.